Welcome back. It is time for the deciding game of today, that one last spot in the LCS. And one thing I know for certain is that the LCS, at least the European part, will have a Polish player, at least 2 Polish players playing. Is there anyone in the room happy about that? Now, if I may, I'll switch to Polish for a second. Uwaga, uwaga! Na początek obietnica, że nikt z tej sali z pustymi rękami nie wyjdzie. Nie klaszczemy, nie klaszczemy, nie klaszczemy, na to nie klaszczemy. Natomiast bardzo was proszę, zróbmy po raz ostatni jeszcze falę, jeśli mogę was prosić o to. Rączki do przodu. Uwaga, rączki do przodu. I pamiętamy, fala jest na cześć naszego gościa tutaj, pana prezesa Riot Games, czyli pana Rajza. Uwaga, rączki do przodu, rączki do przodu, rączki do przodu. I robimy szum. 3 razy zrobimy, 3 razy, uwaga. Rajz! 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 Wielkie brawa! So, for the confused watchers at home on the live stream, the blue team, they have won Intellect Stream Masters Singapore. They have had a really long way to get here. It is who? 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 It is indeed MeetYourMakers. And the other team, this will be the red team for this game. They have got 2 hairy players, 2 Polish players with very long hair. That's Shushe and that is Hosan. And they've got a player who claims to be the best here and certainly staked a claim for that with his Olaf play in the previous game. And I mean Spontex. It is who? 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 Indeed, it is Dragonborns. Joe and Demon, it is all yours from now.
Thank you very much, Carmack, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am D-Man, and of course, joined by Joe Miller. You may recognize us. We've been around the circuit for a while, and this is it. This is the last match of the tournament. They are here. 2 wins for one of these teams, and they will be in Season 3. Will it be Dragonborns, or will it be MeetYourMakers? Who will decide? Will be joining those last 7 teams. I'll get it right eventually.
It's a really difficult one. Number 1 to get out, and number 2 to decide from my view here. MeetYourMakers, yes, they were swept aside by Fnatic. It was kind of a standard victory for them. They turned up, did the job, went back home. MeetYourMakers have come here today. They've played brilliantly in game number 1, beating Millennium 2-0. Millennium are no pushover in terms of their skill level either. So I think MeetYourMakers here may just have that little edge.
They may well have that little edge, and honestly, I was concerned for these guys, MeetYourMakers, because we saw them in the restaurant last night, and they looked so down on themselves. I was like, God, I hope they're going to pick this up. Yeah, they were just sat in silence at the table.
Yeah, they were just literally sat there looking down and not talking at all. Yeah. There were no words between them. They looked like 5 or 6 guys just sat there who didn't really even know each other. It was kind of like awkward silence, but it seems like they've got it together for this one. We heard from Charu that they said their brains weren't working yesterday. Here's a tip. Bring your brain to the game. It's always going to help. But they seem to have fixed that problem overnight, and they're looking very, very good today.
And somebody that's also been looking very good today has been Spontex. Didn't die.
I thought you were going to say me.
Well, you know, Jat, you're looking pretty dapper, Jat.
Jat.
See, yeah.
See?
It's just, I'm just confused. I don't know who I'm with these days. I'm just naturally with Jat. That's the problem these days. It's good to be back with you, Joe, though.
It is very good.
We couldn't do the TriCast because we didn't have another one of these big seats. We could have just propped him between us.
Yeah, if we'd have stayed together.
We could have just nudged the arms together and just prop Jat in there, maybe. I don't know. But no, unfortunately, it is just the two of us, so you're just going to have to do with it.
I'm sure you'll survive. And the good thing is, when me and Demon cast together, we only cast good games. It seems to work that way. We had it in Singapore, we had it in Katowice. I mean, looking back to even towards DreamHack, where we had that epic comeback game, it only produces good games when we're sat together here. So fingers crossed that continues to be the same. It looks like we're almost ready to go, but Demon, who's your favorite coming into this game? I mean, we've seen both of them have their 2-0 victories today. Who was looking the better out of the two teams?
You've got to think MeetYourMakers. They've just had a really tight game with Millennium. Millennium were looking good today, but it's just they come up against MeetYourMakers. You know, all the whole craziness of this tournament has happened because Fnatic didn't go through as top seed, which immediately shuffled the whole pack of the tournament. MeetYourMakers should have legitimately been through yesterday, but instead they came up against Fnatic. They were the unfortunate ones that got forced in there. We are seeing the picks and bans coming through. Kha'Zix, Nidalee, Twisted Fate, and Jace being taken out there. Twisted Fate's an interesting one for me. We didn't see Charu picking that. It was available to MeetYourMakers throughout the whole last two matches, and I don't even think him going for it at all. He's been going with Karthus quite happily.
Yeah, I talked about the whole hot and cold nature of Twisted Fate before earlier on in the tournament, and yeah, sometimes we see him come in there and dominate, snowball the lanes. He gets good scores himself. Sometimes we just see him there and he's kind of like teleports in, gets rooted by Zyra, and then gets blown up.
It's always a gamble picking Twisted Fate.
Yeah. I wonder why you were looking funny at me.
Well, I know Jason has a stack of those ready and waiting to be used, but we do see Olaf being picked, continues to be 100% picked or banned. Kale and Shinzao also being picked up, though, so how is that going to work out? That's taking away Kale from Mokata. We just saw him playing it in the jungle on the last one. What are we going to see here? That's the question. What will the next two picks be? We've had some pretty interesting stuff from MeetYourMakers. They came up against, obviously, the Taric Urgot and managed to defend against it. I don't think we've seen Taric Urgot losing just yet. No, that was their first game, I think, that we've seen it lose.
The other two, I think they were victorious in that one. It just showed, I mean, Urgot was so highly contested back in the, you know, kind of halfway through the year times. Like, he was picked and banned like every game, and then he just stopped happening.
Well, Genja and Yellow Pete used to play him all the time. Yeah. I think we're going to see an Ezreal possibly here. We have seen some misfortunes pretty much predominantly for Makler. Makler has been, it's definitely one of his favorite champions, so we could see that picked up first. AD carry support, not a bad choice, but it's going to be Wukong. That's going to be Charu in the middle on Wukong, I'm certain.
Yeah, and again, Twisted Fate, that ban, I'm not sure that it's really worth it. I would have rather put a ban on towards Olaf, because we've seen Olaf, he's so ridiculously strong right now. He is incredibly, incredibly good, and he's done the work for pretty much every single team that we've seen him on so far. There's the Taric Ezreal pickup coming in, obviously. Ezreal being pretty much still the highly contested, but there's a Vayne. We've seen Makler's Vayne before. He is ridiculously good with Vayne, and that will be locked in.
Yes, and he is going to take it. He hasn't got Nunu with him, though. That's what normally does a... Are they going to really go with that when Misfortune was available? They're going to switch it up to a Mumu in the jungle. Interesting choice. Definitely a lot of crowd control there. You've got Wukong spinning through Crescendo and Curse the Sad Mommy, and the damage that will eventually come out from Vayne. And of course, Olaf's been a beast pretty much in every game, like you mentioned. Definitely a lot of crowd control there. It worked out for the Giants. They went for the all crowd control teams. They managed to get themselves through. What are Dragonborns going to do to contest it? That's the question.
And we saw yesterday Wukong with home guard boots teleporting in, which Charu was going for. You can't get away from him when he just runs in there, flying around you with the ultimate on, gets every single man in the team, gives Amumu the easy setup there from that, and the whole time Vayne's just going to be hammering away on them. Let's see what Dragonborns will complement their lineup here. We do have the Taric Ezreal, and there is a Vi. We saw her actually in the group stage being picked up by Dragonborns. They're the only team up until now that's actually played her.
Shuche has been playing it mid, so that's going to be a Vi versus Wukong mid. full-on bruiser, assassin types, just everyone beating on each other. Top lane is also going to be exactly the same because it's going to be Xin Zhao versus Olaf. It's just bruisers across the board here. Really a lack of AP damage from either team.
Yeah, and we'll see how that all kind of works out from... I mean, a lot of people call it, League of Bruisers is a very good analogy for the current state that we have in the game. Obviously, lots of health coming in there. But it's going to make it really exciting because these team fights are going to be lasting pretty long, which is either a good or a bad thing for our voices, but certainly will be an exciting one to watch.
So, Joe, we've got 13 seconds to go. Who do we think is going to take this one? MeetYourMakers definitely coming into this one very strong, but Dragonborns had a fantastic performance this morning. Has that given them the confidence to go up against effectively what I think they would perceive to be the stronger team of MeetYourMakers? They've got to be the favourites here because even before this tournament, they were favourites to make it into Season 3.
Yeah, honestly, MeetYourMakers with that Vayne in there, we've seen before so many good performances from Makler on Vayne. The problem is, does he get to that level where he can really be a Vayne? Because he's getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger as it goes along. But if Dragonborns can dominate them in that early game and stop this Vayne really getting there, then I think Dragonborns are going to have it. But if that Vayne, if Makler gets his way and they manage to protect that Vayne, it's going to be difficult. The thing is, they took Olaf away as well, which instantly kind of makes Vayne that more safer pick, I'd say, because you've got not really anyone then just to do an Olaf, Ghost on, Ragnarok on, run straight to the back for that Vayne. And that's one thing that MeetYourMakers have got here nicely. Obviously, they've got that Wukong as well, so the protection that they can offer up for Vayne here is actually really, really good. Would have liked seeing a Nuno in there, but, Sona got the crescendo, just even more into that whole combo that they've got going on.
Yeah, it helps out with the full-on seat crowd control they've got. Dragonborns, from their perspective, I don't know how this is going to go. They're going to have to pull off something special. They've gone with Vi in there, and it's how much will they have practiced with it? Shusha's been playing it a lot, but as a team, will they have practiced it up? I mean, a lot of teams weren't even aware that Vi was available in this tournament, despite the fact it's right there in the rules. It even caught me off guard as well.
Yeah. Vi's available.
Vi is available, and if you think back, Mouse Sports the other day when they played against Dragonborns, they exited out because they were like, you can't pick that.
Yeah, yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can, and we did. But it wasn't that strong a pick in that game. That's the thing. Hey, Broken Shard on Kayle. Well, we know he likes Olaf, but Kayle has really seemed to be something that's kicking it up in the jungle lately. Yeah. And the ganks seem to be working well for whenever Broken Shard comes out of that jungle. Will he be able to help out Spontex? Spontex versus Kubon. That's a big matchup in that top lane. Spontex, despite the fact he went untouchable in the last match, he's against Kubon this time on Olaf, and Kubon is a very good player.
Yeah, this is going to be a totally different matchup for Spontex. And I talked about it in that first Dragons game, their first best of 3, where they went 1-0 and they were jumping around as though they'd won the World Championships. Then they went on to lose. And after that last game, when he's saying, I'm the best, and they were lifting him up on the stage there, I still feel a little bit for Dragonborns. I think that overconfidence is one of the biggest downfalls that any team can have.
Well, Dragonborns are really revel in the chaos of crazy fights. You saw some of the craziness that was happening in that game, but MeetYourMakers do as well, and I feel they do it better. It's not so chaotic. It's actually well angled, and Sharu, he's going to be getting somewhere. We've been seeing him teleporting all over the place throughout the whole tournament. So it seems to be the thing for the mids these days. They're all going teleports. They're all coming in to pile themselves in there. Of course, you're wondering why you're looking at our faces still. It is because
beautiful.
It's because we're lovely. That's why. But we are just waiting for the game to get underway. There was
they had a remake.
A quick remake of sorts. So they're sorting themselves out. If you have just joined us, this is the final game. It is going to be the best of 3 and the final place for the Season 3 European Championships, or LCS as we're calling it, the League Championship Series, and that is going to be happening in North America and Europe. 8 teams in both.
Sorry.
I'm hearing something.
That is ridiculous.
Oh.
Why was my alarm set for this time in the day? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Sorry about that, guys. That is my own downfall for not turning my phone off. Ridiculous.
Oh, so, Joe Miller.
That old chestnut. At least Joe it wasn't Miller. Ringing in my pocket. I would have actually answered it just to see who would interrupt such an amazing opening to a game.
Indeed, especially when our lovely faces were on camera as well. Yeah. I mean, honestly, there's a couple of lovely faces for you. Some strong Polish looks right there. The long hair of Shushe and Makler, is it? No, it's not Makler that's got the long hair. It's Hosan that's got the long hair. Makler definitely doesn't have long hair. They're all short-haired apart from Sharu. And the focus on their faces tells you that they are indeed in the game. And they are focusing on exactly what to do. You see those double headsets? That's so they can shut out our big gobs. And, you know, it's not such a bad thing. As well as talk to each other in clear, concise communication. MeetYourMakers as the blue team, Dragonborns on your screen as the red team. 30 seconds gone in this game, and we are about to get things underway for the final match of the weekend. Day 3, last chance Sunday. Who will it be, MeetYourMakers or Dragonborns?
We're going to find out. I'm scared to call this one, to be honest, the way that it's going right now. We can see MeetYourMakers here going to be hanging around their jungle. The players are obviously on a 30-second delay, but I still don't want to give anything away here. But I can now as they come face checking into the brush. This could be bad. Spontex has to flash away, but look how low Kubon's gone. It is going to be first blood picked up. Shushe not going to escape, and Vayne has picked up a kill there. That could be devastating, but Makler going low. Hosan is going to go in there. Manages to pick up another one. Movement will flash away, and they're still fighting on as Wukong goes down. And they're not done just yet. Makata is going to fall. It's a double kill for Ezreal. What a crazy start. 4 for 1.
Devastating fight there for MeetYourMakers, going 3-2 actually, I think it was, or 4 for 2 was it? In the end, I'm not too sure what it was. No, it was for 1. You are correct. It's right there on the top of the screen. Oh, good Lord. It's been a long 3 weeks for me. This is my third event back-to-back, and things are getting a little bit rattled in my head. But 2-0-2. Hosan has gone back, and he's picked himself up a Vampiric Scepter and Boots straight away. Just had that longsword in there. Also, Shushe, he's picked up some damage items. Really, the only person that got the kill in there was just Makler, and that is going to make lanes really difficult for them. No crazy swapping around here, no crazy invades, because, well, they've already just had that fight, and nobody else wants to fight anymore.
Yeah, I think that's enough fighting for both teams at this. And the funny thing is, MeetYourMakers, you know, Demon, we've been casting them a long time, right from the very start when they were making their name in the League of Legends scene. And they are traditionally a very good level 1 team. Talked a little bit about it after the first game of that last best of 3 with Jason. The fact that they didn't really go too aggressive at level 1, maybe because they're thinking that their opponents are going to be ready for that. But Dragonborns just switched it around and came into their jungle and did the business.
Yeah, and it really is nearly always, that's in our notes. You know, MeetYourMakers, strong level 1. But as it was, Dragonborns, strong level 1. The question is, will that manage to tumble and throw the game out of cock for Dragonborns? Will they manage to force out of it? And you can see they're putting the pressure on that bottom lane. They are going to go down. It's going to be Libic's going to get dropped. Who will pick up the kill? Shushe will be there. And, well, teleport already used in good use. And, well, Broken Shard poking up towards the top there. He's going to come in towards Kubon. He is going to land the slow and just lay down the damage. Not going to get followed up by Spontex. Instead, it's going to force Kubon back. And, well, 5-1 already for Dragonborns.
This is not in MeetYourMakers' plan. This was this whole start is not what they've been looking for. And I was quite surprised there that Shushe managed to get out. Obviously, use his teleport onto that ward that Tariq had put down a little bit earlier on. Gets himself into that bottom lane, and from there, it's easy kill. If you don't detect the fact that Shushe's gone from that lane early enough, then you're going to have some real problems. And they now at least know, obviously, that it's on cooldown for a good while. But we are going to see him go straight in here on towards Shushe, on towards Charu in the middle, who has turned it around there. And they just bashing heads here in this early game.
Bashing heads, and I wonder how often Charu has played against Shushe. These obviously both Polish teams, practice partners, and, well, MeetYourMakers were pretty confident that they were going to beat Dragonborns. They said we've beaten them all the time in scrims, so feeling very confident. The question is, how can they turn this one? Makler, of course, he's not going to get strong for a long time here. Has picked up a double Dorans, and now he's going to get dazzled out there. And again, the exhaust comes down. They're going to try and turn this one into a kill. Hosan does keep punishing, but you can see Libic, and they sustain. He will try and poke them back. And Makler this time was not going to be the target. The top lane is still Spontex versus Kubon. Very much a back and forward, but Kubon being pressured on that top lane.
Yeah, let's see how he's going to handle that one. The CSA, he's losing out pretty heavily from the start. I'm wondering how they're going to turn that one around down in the bottom lane. We can see the stun there landing on towards Libic. Have they got the damage to follow in? Actually, Ignite goes on to move it. Makler turns it around, manages to get the last hit off. Will Hosan try and get the kill? Will he turn around? We can see they're going to get hit against the wall. Very quick reactions to pop the cleanse, though, will save Hosan.
The Condemn and the Cleanse straight away used, but we do see movement once again. Broken Shard is going to get himself in a position. There's no wards here. They're not going to spot him coming. He's going to come around the backside of them. Is Hosan going to give the game away? He is still pretty low, but you can see it's going to be Broken Shard coming around. He's actually Libic he's gone for, which is less than ideal. I feel he should have gone for Makler. Instead, he's just going to get poked back. And now Makata comes in on towards Broken Shard. Broken Shard, Makler picks up the kill. The top lane. Oh, it's a back and forth in the top lane. And well, we did see Shushay coming down the bottom, but he was just a little bit too late. It's Jaru that picked up the kill on Hosan. All the lanes, and it's 6-5. Things have just balanced themselves out so quickly.
Yeah, and that could be, again, this overconfidence thing that I'm talking about. You get off to that dream start, going 4-1 up, 5-1 up even after that, after they got another kill in that bottom lane. And then look how quickly it can turn around. That last one, they took down 3. They only lost Kubon as they traded with Spontex in that top lane. And we can see that we're just back to a almost level game. I mean, it's still 1,000 gold lead, actually, in favor of Dragonborns currently. But that won't hang around for once. And I talked about earlier on this Vayne and how if they manage to dominate her in the early game, it makes their matchup so much easier. But look at the scoreline, 3-1-1. That Vayne is going to get scary with a Vamp Scepter now picked up. Yeah,
Vamp Scepter and Boots picked up, so very much equalizing exactly what Hosan gained from that very start. And 6 minutes in, advantage has gone. They're pinging up towards Sharu. They see him running up towards the top there. Broken Shard, he said he's going to turn around onto. Ward placement used. And he's going to back off. Teleports both were used. We don't see a teleport up for Shushay. We'll be back first, though. We'll see whether keep our eye on that one, because it seems to be the teleport ganks are flavour of the month, certainly here in Poland. And they have been very successful for MeetYourMakers and Dragonborns. It's kind of like a mirror image of one another. Just 7 minutes gone in this game, 11 kills already. You know, myself and Jack, we were in the cinema watching the actual matches happen earlier on. We saw the MeetYourMakers versus Millennium, and nearly said Eclipse match happening earlier, and that was crazy. There were 70+ kills in that game, just 20 minutes into it. Shushay getting aggressive on towards Sharu there, and Sharu just covering out the damage, trying to get a bit of poke back and forward. 7 minutes gone, Joe. Very, very close, tight game.
Incredibly tight game still, and an incredibly interesting one as well. Both teams fighting for that last place here in the European LCS, which makes it even more nail-biting. You know, this is not your average tournament final. This is careers that we're talking about here on the line, not just that bit of prize money. This is for a full year to be right at the top of the League of Legends scene. Bottom lane there, we can see that Hosan was just pushing out in the top. Actually, Spontex has just gone back. That's going to give Kubon a little bit of time. He's actually 20 CS behind them. That top lane is Kubon.
Yeah, he had the problem at the start. He was bullied out of it, but the fact that he did manage to get the equal kill, hasn't yet gone himself a Giant's Bolt. You can see the Giant's Bolt picked up by Spontex, already going straight for that one. The fact that he got those assists earlier on seemed to have helped him out. Down his bottom lane, 43-54. That's not too bad when you consider Hosan was 2-0-2 earlier on. Is that Makler's actually kept himself up with the CS, the Counter-Strikes? Maybe he's kept himself up in Counter-Strike as well, but he is playing an AD carry, who knows, with a couple of bolts. Shushay is making a move, though. We do see the blue buff going across to Sharu. Meanwhile, the top lane Kubon getting knocked in the air. Shushay, well, I think he was spotted, and their pings do go down and say, yep, we're expecting a gank.
Yeah, that first Giant's Belt actually coming out there for Xin Chao, and just going to help Spontex out so much in this top lane. And allow him to hang around in there, that farm advantage even more in his favour. Also got that Doran's Blade in there, obviously, to give him that nice sustain in the lane. So let's have a look then. Off towards the middle in terms of CS, 70-59 in favour of Shushay on Vi. Does have now that Brutalizer in there and finished, so we'll see how he comes around. His teleport is up. Charu is still on cooldown, so we may see Shushay getting involved in the action here shortly.
Yeah, with that Brutalizer, it's going to do damage as well compared to Sharu. Sharu's just simply going to be more of a crowd control mechanism if he goes into the fight. Just without Ninja Tabby, he's not really got anything at the moment damaging, continuing his farm out though, and he's been out farmed by Shushay. Pretty much all the lanes, as it were, are in favour of Dragonborns, which you would expect when it was a 4-1 start for them. But MeetYourMakers have kept themselves in this well. No shenanigans coming out from Dragonborns. As they say that, they're diving towards Sharu. Puts the damage down, just keeps him back, and preventing really Sharu from getting any farm. And he is starting to stretch a lead here in the mid lane, Joe.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if this is what really Xuxi has been practicing this fight to get her in there. I mean, this is going to be the first tournament where she's available. If you're confident enough to play a champion that new after release, you're always going to have a little bit of a mind game advantage because people won't be as comfortable as if you're playing some of the older champions in there in that lane. So that may just be giving Xuxi a nice little edge to this one. Meanwhile, we do see Broken Shot there in the middle lane. Char just sticking back, not going to be brought out and baited in, and for that gank to come down. Now at the bottom there, you see Makler just trying to zone them out. 64 to 77 CS, so still we see Hosan maintaining his advantage.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what these junglers are going to do. But every time there's been action created, it's generally been those popping out of the jungle and creating something. Broken Shard at the moment farming out. We do see Mokata trying to position himself. Sharu once again pressured in that mid lane by Xuxi. But he's just going to be wasting his time because you can see the duo lane of Hosan and Mouvert. They are backing off to base and they're going to pick themselves up the first BF sword of the game. I nearly said something I shouldn't have, but they are. It's the big friendly sword, I believe is the actual name.
I'm not sure it is. Got a different one, but we don't need to go into that one. But we can see those home guard boots both being finished fairly early. Like we talked about earlier on, synergizes with that teleport so well, especially for Wukong, who's got to get amongst the team with that ultimate running. Spontex continuing to farm. He is now a good 20 CS in the lead from that one. Speaking of home guard in the bottom lane, we are going to see Xuxi come in there. He is going to fly down. Can they get in onto Makler? Yes, they can. He is not escaping this one. Xuxi going to finish it off. And just as I talked about the home guard boots, they make their first appearance.
And well, Sharu cancelled his teleport because he thought he was going to get down in time, but really it was all about Xuxi and that ulti from Vi. Just teleporting straight in there, telegraphing himself onto him, knocking him up in the air, followed by the dazzle. There was no way he was ever going to get away from that one. Now they're going to try and force the dragon. The question is, will MeetYourMakers try and contest it? They don't have their AD carry. And Kubon is making his way down, but Spontex is going to be there way earlier. So this is going to be a very, very dangerous steal if they do go for it, Joe. It looks like they're going to try and poke in there.
They're going to try and get in. Makata actually will get into the middle. And where's the ultimate there? They have the chain together, but Makata will fall. The dragon was actually taken down by Dragonborns in that as well. MeetYourMakers now in a little bit of trouble as Charu and Kuban both running away. Kuban is still very, very healthy in there, but will they be able to pin him down? He pops a Ragnarok, and he will get to the safety of his tower. So a 1-for-0 Dragon went over to Dragonborns.
Very, very tight, but Dragonborns taking control of the game now. They're going to push on towards this middle turret. Are they going to try and bite off too much? Kuban lays their damage down. Sharu's ulti, his mirror image getting caught out there. They thought they got him, but no, not quite. Makler, though, coming back into lane, has got himself a BF sword. They can't hang around too much, and you can see the damage that spikes on towards Broken Shard once he gets those 3 silver things on him. I can't remember what they were called. The silver darts, whatever they're called when it builds up the 3 times. Quick Shot would have pulled out the name straight away. Damn it, where is he when you need him? He's just around the corner. But as it is, they're going to put pressure on towards the middle turret, and they should be able to take a good chunk of health off this. Mokata's going to dive in towards Broken Shot, has to use the invulnerability for himself, and now Xuxi comes back in. Makler on the turret with his ultimate, had to pop it, try and get away from there. Mokata is also backing away, and this could be a very back and forth game, Joe. Spontex pressure in top.
Or it is a very back and forth game. And the funny thing is, the way it started, it could have been an absolute one-sided stomp of a fest with the way that Dragon Ball started off here. As you mentioned, Spontex is now pushing in towards his top lane. He's got no mana left, and Charu is going to go in there, decides not to go offensive for it. Makler, in the meantime, has gone down into this bottom lane. We can see how much he's starting to hurt now with that BF sword built up. Obviously, does have the Vamp Scepter, which is going to give him nice sustain as he goes back in there. Still behind on the CS though, 91 to 117, and there is a Bloodthirst and a pickaxe being picked up by Ezreal.
Yeah, and across the board they're behind. In top lane you can see that Spontex is way ahead, 30 CS advantage. In the mid lane, well, Wukong is picking up as much as he can, but you can see that Xuxi, he's been out farming as well, and the AD carries, as you just mentioned, is ahead in Hosan. Hosan's been playing very well in this tournament, and honestly, Dragonborns are looking very good here. The pressure must really be piling on to MeetYourMakers. Remember, this is a best of 3. This is the last chance saloon, last chance Sunday, some have been calling it, of course, the League of Legends Championship Series. It is what they're trying to get into, and if they don't make it, well, they're going to have to be waiting. I think it's around about April or May when the next chance comes up with a promotion relegation battle will commence but that in itself will be such a tight time. You want to get in the door early. You want to be playing weekly matches with the very best in your region, and that's just going to make you inherently better as a team. As it stands, though, it is Dragonborns with the advantage.
Yeah, and a nice one as well as Libby getting pressured down in this bottom lane. Hosan not quite got the damage to finish him off in terms of a kill there, and Vayne now going to come back into that lane as well. Here we go, Crescendo comes down. Hosan could be in a little bit of trouble. Broken Shroud has taken down that turret in the middle in the process, but Makler pushing in on towards Mover. Can he pick himself up the kill? Will actually cleanse off the stun there. What can he finish off? Hosan is actually kited around, done good damage. Now Makler's in trouble. Ulti comes out. Hosan will micro that one perfectly as Charu comes teleporting in. Can he get onto Hosan? Yes, he's just caught him. There was a heal coming out. He's going to try and get away. Charu gets the kill. He's now got to run. Kubon is left alone in the top lane, but Charu is running for dear life. Kale's going to slow him down. Can Dragonborns get in there and finish this kill off?
Run, monkey, run. The Chushe is chasing, puts down his side. Will he try and divert? No, he doesn't. He doesn't juke it round in. Instead, he's running away. Kubon taken very low, but Charu has been caught out here. Movet's going to flash through. Can he get the dazzle down? He's going to try and juke it around. Instead, he tries to get the damage on Movet. It's not going to happen. And Chushe tracks it down and picks up another kill. And that is the Black Cleaver at work right there. 4-1-2 for Chushe. 4-2-5 for Hosan. It is working out very well for the Dragonborns.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised that Charu actually turned around there. There was that brief moment where he turned in and chased Vi out again. If he'd have kept running, he probably would have survived that scenario. In the end, though, he's obviously fed Chushe another kill, and he's going to have a decent amount of gold to go home with, around 1,100 gold. Yet there we go, see it on your screen, to get home with and spend up. We'll see if he goes for straight into a giant spell, which would not surprise me whatsoever. And as I say that, giant spell picked up.
It's a 7,000 gold difference across the team, and it equates to about 1,000 plus per player right now for Dragonborns. They are way ahead in gold, and that's going to also give them the items. You can see many items completed, the first big items, whereas MeetYourMakers, they are hurting right now. They can't force any fights. Every time they try and create something, it's backfiring on them, and Makler just has to sit and farm and try his best to keep up, but it's not quite working out for him. You saw, did he manage to steal away the blue there? I don't think he did. I can't see whether Makata has it on him. He does not, which means, yes, Hosan stole it with the True Shot Barrage.
Wow, nicely done from Hosan. Not the first time that we've seen Ezreal stealing buffs like that this tournament either. But that is fantastic play just to deny this and move that bit more. He's 10 CS behind, not being able to get in for the kills. And we can see that Dragonborns here going to put the pressure down. I mean, it's an Ezreal with double buff. You can't stand and fight with him.
You can't stand and fight with him, and Spontex, he's coming in, but he's already got that Sunfire Cake. Crescendo comes across, then split targeting, no bandage. Toss missing out from Makata there. Vayne has used his ulti. Do not go to that bush. It is danger for you. And Libic's going to get taken down. Curse the Side Bomber using the forward to try and get the hell out of there. And well, now you can see Charu. He thought about coming in, but it's too little too late. Hosan tracking him down. He's going to fight him. Red buff is going to proc off. Are they going to turn it back on towards him? He pops the ultimate, bounces him in the air. It's Hosan they want, but he cleansed it off there. Makler can't get into the damage. Kubon comes back in as well, but it is back and forward, and everybody disengages. Libic, the only one to go down.
Really nice little fight there. Dragonborns thought they might have gone a little bit too far in, but in the end, turns out not. They're going to turn it around, get themselves the second dragon of this game. And obviously, they did pick up that first one. That will leave them a smidgen away from a 10,000 gold lead, 18.5 minutes into this game. Obviously, Vayne's going to get a bit more time now to farm down in this bottom lane, but on the other hand, still 20 CS behind. Has got 3 kills compared to the 5 kills on Ezreal, who has now also finished that last Whisper in there.
The Warmogs on Kubon, that might help him a bit, but you can see Spontex is just so far ahead in terms of build. He's building up his own Warmogs. 1-1-5, 1-2-1. And it is around about 2,000 gold deficit between the two now. It's starting to build up. 23,000 to 32,000. That's a big difference right now. And it is starting to hurt them. Interesting that Broken Shard and Kubon just stroll on past each other. Didn't want any of it there. Charu trying to put the damage on Spontex, but I think it's going to roll reverse, and Spontex is just starting to bully out Charu, trying to bait him in towards the bush, but they knew Kubon was coming the whole time. But that just shows how strong Spontex is right now. He has died, so he's not going to be able to go invulnerable the whole time, but it does also mean he's going to turn the damage on. Down the bottom, though, Hosam pops out the ultimate. True Shot Barrage and Makata just caught up in a Rosh there, and now they're going to change. Oh, and Limic's going to get caught out. Shushay just zeroing in on him, and that's going to be the double kill for Hosan. Top lane, they're also bullying out. Kubon's being forced away. Spontex dives on him. The slow comes down. He's going to get the knock-up. He's going to be forced to use Ragnarok if he doesn't get away too far. Now the two turrets, top and bottom, both being pushed, Joe.
Yeah, great play again out of Dragonborns. They're going to be going in first onto the top turret. Kubon using that Warmogs to his best effect there, just trying to do as much damage as he can and force them off that turret. In the end, works out for him, but you can see bottom inner turret has already been pushed heavily by Dragonborns, and that will actually be turret number 4. Not a single one picked up yet for MeetYourMakers. Dragonborns doing a really great job. 20 minutes into this one. What items are we going to be seeing coming out next? It might be a while till they go home, because they are pushing again in towards another inner turret on this middle lane. It's already down to half HP. Let's see what they go for. MeetYourMakers, you know, they've got a Mumu. We saw it in the jungle in that last fight actually that happened. He bandage tosses in, which is just, on the one hand, a terrible idea, because he's not tanky enough. He just gets blown up when that happens. We can see, again, MeetYourMakers just forcing them to back away. But for how long? That's the real question, because they're going to have a big spike of items when they come back in.
It is going to be a big spike, and you know what? Dragonborns are doing a fantastic job of keeping the pressure on. This is something we've talked about so often with the likes of Gambit Gaming and CLG, and you know, any of the big Korean teams. When they get that advantage, they just drive it home and keep it on you. Shatter set up nicely for a True Shot Barrage. Move Air being the perfect support there, and just keeps the siege minion. Oh, and he nicks it away, and so Shushay is coming. He's like, no, this was my AD carry, it's not for you. Spontex, meanwhile, in the top there, he's chasing on towards Sharu. Sharu's got a long way to get away from Spontex. He's going to be able to catch on towards him. He does manage to chase him down. He's going to get the knockup. Meanwhile, Kubon's also in trouble down the bottom lane, and when your top laner is being battered and bullied, Sharu is just being beaten around the head with a big baseball bat by Spontex, and he's going to have to run away.
He's going to have a headache after that, then, that's for sure. Yeah, taking a lot of damage there, and had to actually obviously use that ghost to really get himself into a safe position. Now Dragonborns looking for that second inner turret. They did some damage to it earlier on. See that the Essence looks given over from that extra attack speed onto Broken Shard, who actually does have the Spirit of the Elder Lizard, plus that Stinger already finished in there as well. And now they just wait for minions to join in the party so that they can have a go onto that tower, and they realize, oh look, there's a blue buff spawning. Let's take that one. Let's deny it from MeetYourMakers, as the Ezreal ultimate is actually going to come across there. Are they going to be able to catch anyone out? Dragonborns, there are wards spotting their positions. Well, let's see if they can actually push through. Shushay is just off to the side there. Obviously has that Warmogs now in with the Black Cleaver. Here we go. We are going to see it all going down. Yeah, Crescendo comes out, and also you can see Wukong's going to get in there. He's going to knock a lot of them up. Dragonborns are being ripped apart here. MeetYourMakers finally picking up a couple of kills, but Shushay is in there, and he is doing damage. Sharu somehow survives, but now can they turn the damage on? Makler is still alive, as is, you can see, Kubon, but they're all very low. Hosan's going to come in. He's going to clean up. He gets a double kill. He could have got a triple. He could have just carried on going, but Dragonborns, despite the perfect initiation from MeetYourMakers there, have been killed off, and it was a 2-for-2 with a turret going down and possibly a second. Wouldn't really surprise me to see him surrender even at this stage. I mean, after a fight like that, you realize you can't quite win it out, as we will see Charu dive into the middle of them, has to run straight off, and look how much health is lost there. 2/3 of his health already going down. Is he going to be finished? Yes, he is. Dragonborns decide to back away right now, and I think MeetYourMakers' only real chance here is if they go straight up and go and have a try and a cheeky Baron. Oh, that was close. Charu down to almost nothing. Down to almost nothing. Does get on the fountain just in time. So, item-wise, let's have a look across the board. We do see the Iron Locket, the Solari on Makata. This is something that has been obviously seen Gambit Gaming picking up a lot of lately. Seems to counteract against the Warmog stacking, the Bruiser stacking that they have. Helps out well, gets all defensive on them. We also see another, that's got to be another Brutalizer coming out. Is Sharu, of course, he's going to go for the Yumo's Ghostblade, I guess, straight after, along with that Black Cleaver. Looking towards Black Cleavers, of course, Warmogs across the board. Dragonborns are ahead in the items.
and they are starting to stack out. We do see... That's going to be the Ironborn Gauntlet. It's going to be coming out, of course, for Hussein. I was just wondering why he's just built a Glacial Shroud, but he has got that Sheen in there as well, so they almost completed on that. You can see 9-2-5. He is way ahead of Makler right now, which is exactly what they need to be, because Makler's just going to get stronger as the game progresses.
And we can see, though, in the bottom lane, he's been absolutely hammered away on that baseball. Bats out again for Spontex. This time, Makler actually is going to get himself stealth, but you're not going to escape a Zinshao, who picks up his second kill, actually, of the game. Now 2-2-5, and look at Shushe. He's right in there, actually focusing down on towards Libic first. Makata should just leave you, because there's no way he's actually going to be able to kill him off. And we see him pushing right in now. Makata going very, very low. Where's the finisher? Not quite landing in. What's Shushe going to go for? Actually flashed in there, still didn't quite get it off.
Ain't nowhere to run for him, but he does get away. And they do push on the wave, though, and there you can see Makata backing off. Makler will be respawned just by the time they get into this turret, but they're going to have to get back from that fountain very, very quickly, because the Dragonborns are driving it home for a victory here. 17-8 currently in kills, and they are on the turret, and with all them bruises, they are going to do a heck of a lot of damage. The inhibitor turret goes down, True Shot Barrage comes across. You can see Curse the Sad Mommy, Wukong trying to get in there, trying to disrupt, but the damage is too strong. Makata gets taken down. They do finally get Spontex down, but it doesn't matter, because Hosan is ripping them apart from the inside, and he just pokes them back and forward, back and forward. Makler can't stand and dance with Hosan.
Yeah, and you see there Hosan pretty much full HP, just killing him in that fight. He's just left alone the entire time to do exactly what he wants. And Kubon, to be honest, needs to do a better job of getting in there and stopping this Ezreal. Yes, he has that great mobility, but that's really his job. That's why this Olaf is so strong, because in those team fights with Ragnarok on, you can't really control him, and he can take that AD carry out of the game, and especially when the AD carry is this fed, he has to do that.
They're desperately trying to pick up some exit kills here. Hosan actually very low on mana. You can see Libic is going to come out. We do see the red buff. Hosan did manage to take it away. As it was, Broken Shard, Shushe's backed off, and we are just going to check out a replay of that last fight, Joe.
Yeah, so here we go then. That was the turret going down. You saw the Ezreal ultimate coming out. And look at Hosan's position there in your bottom right. Actually used the cleanse there early on, but he's just the entire time just hammering away, hammering away. Yes, they've lost a couple of men in that fight, but when Hosan's doing so much damage, you're always going to lose that. You can't ever win a fight where that happens.
And there's the inhibitor. That's how it went down. 19-10 currently. And, well, it's a 14,000 gold lead, and Spontex has found Kubon in a bush. And he has that bat back out again, and he continues to drive it up the backside of Kubon, and he's just beating his legs right now. He's slowing him down. Ragnarok's popped, so he's like, no, get off my legs, damn it. I'm not bruised. Ghost is going to be popped. Spontex is going to continue chasing though, and he knocks him up the air because the Ragnarok has run out. Crescent Sweep also used. Spontex is just slowly but surely driving him home. Makler comes back down. Is it going to be enough? Kubon gets away. Spontex is now in trouble, but he's going to continue trying to take down Kubon. Can he get away with it? Kubon's going to get low. Spontex is taken low. Kubon survives, but it took two members to help it out, and it means the inhibitor turret at the top will go down. Great advantage, Dragonborns.
Yeah, that was a nice play out of Spontex. Yes, he's died. Yes, he's thrown three of them away, and that's the big thing, as we are going to see Charu go in with the ultimate running, and he's not got the rest of the team there to help him out. They've stopped just about that inhibitor going down, but at what price? They're not going to have that Cyclone available in the next fight, and that's something that could make it even worse for them.
And that is the blue buff given across. Hosan taking that one away. 9-6 now. Very, very, very strong. Hosan has played absolutely immaculately, I think, in this tournament. Even against Fnatic earlier on, he had a little struggle in that one, but in these games, he has really proved himself to be a fantastic AD carry, and there's a couple of new stars being born from Dragonborns, I feel. Hosan, he couldn't take part in Season 2. He was actually banned from that tournament, and maybe it's showing that, Elo Hell, who we would have played for back then, which was Shushe's team, could have put up a fantastic performance had he been allowed, but you can't be a naughty boy in League of Legends, and it just shows you, no matter what you do, it will catch up to you. But second chance is given, and, well, fair play to him. He has taken it by the horns and is playing fantastically well here in the Season 3 qualifiers. Yeah,
he's been so impressive throughout this whole tournament. I think if we had one of those MVP votes, that he'd definitely be up there with contesting for that victory. As we see Spontex here in the middle, He's such a big bully. I mean, Warmog's in there. He's got some fire cape in there. There's a Warden's mail picked up for him. Like, he's just so ridiculously strong and hard to take down that even if he's pushing from the side, you've almost got to ignore him, but you can't fully ignore him. We can see him now coming in once again on towards Kubon. Let's see how this one goes for him.
Well, they're beaten back and forward once again. Have the rest of the team going to come around to try and help him out? No, because Kubon's going to get slowed down. Ragnarok and Ghost was pops because of the Sad Mommy crescendo, but Spontex is made invulnerable, and now Libic's in trouble. Everybody disengages rapidly from MeetYourMakers because Dragonborns were getting involved. The big advantage they had there, they may have been able to pick something up as Hosan wasn't there, but he would have been back in time to clean up.
Yeah, they used pretty much everything in that fight with MeetYourMakers. Lots of cooldowns being burnt, and now the Baron is being started off. We are going to see True Shot Barrage put down by Hosan onto a Mumu's position. And look at this mover, just getting in the side of him. And they decide all to jump out of Baron Pit. They're going to take him down. Charu's actually in the Baron Pit himself. Got the ulti off. Broken Char going very low. Makler will actually pick up that kill, but look at the focus coming down onto Makler. Libic is very low. Kobon maybe the only one that can save him. 2 kills coming around. Both Makler and Libic are dead. There is Hosan taking down Wukong, and Kubon is going to be finished as well. That will be an ace for Dragonborns, and surely the game.
Not even Obi-Wan Kenobi could have helped MeetYourMakers there. They were just shredded apart. They didn't have any ultimates available because they just used them all to save Kubon earlier on, and that just meant the Dragonborns, they just baited it basically. They were like, okay, they actually nearly took it down in the bait, so they could have finished off maybe the Baron instead. They dived on. They said, Makata's going down. It's going to be the game, and you can see, well, Dragonborns taking game 1. Hosan slunks down into his seat, and they are 1 game away. 1 game away from being in the Season 3. The Dragonborns versus the MeetYourMakers. Will MeetYourMakers get down on themselves? That's the problem, Joe.
Or will Dragonborns get too overconfident? I don't know what it is that really annoys me about overconfidence, but I hope that they don't do it this time around. They're certainly not jumping up and down like they were after that first game against Authority, so they certainly may have learned a lesson from that one. A lot more focus, going to be calm about it, talk about what went right for them, what went wrong, which is even more important. Even if you've won the game, you've got to talk about what went wrong for you in that matchup. But just overall, a really, really good performance, and I tell you what, Shushi playing Vi was a real ace in their pack.
Yeah, played very well there. And Spontex, you know, I talked about him at top against Kubon. He played a fantastic job on Xin Zhao. But let's not forget, they got that 4-1 at the start. And to take us through all the analyst stuff, it will be Jat and Jason to take a closer look at the past game. Hi.
Now you can see us on screen. Welcome back to Announce Us. I am Jason. With me is Jat, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to take this away from you. Here comes Vi, Jat. That's all you can really say.
Well, that was a good game for Vi. But
yeah,
we almost never get to cover level 1 fights because they haven't been happening much. And even in this game, when Dragonborns won the level 1 fight by a lot, MeetYourMakers did manage to come back. But regardless of that, I do want to show a replay of the level 1 fight just so we can break it down.
Yeah, it's a very good point because MeetYourMakers, like we were talking about before, is they stayed in the exact same place for the last, I think, 3 or 4 games. Haven't really moved from it, and they've been invaded on a couple of times.
Yeah, so if we can pull up the replay, we can break down the level 1 fight. And the cool thing about this is you can see MeetYourMakers has 3 members scouting in this brush. But what is bad for them is Libic and Makler are not in position. So if we play this really slowly, we can see all of Dragonborns come up, and they're about to fight. Now, Kubon is about to throw his undertow on Olaf out through all of Dragonborns. It hits all 5. But I want to actually point out skill order when you're about to have a level 1 fight and why Dragonborns won this fight so badly. If you look at Xin Zhao, he's put 1 point into his Audacious Charge. That's an AoE spell. Broken Shard has his Righteous Fury. He's going to be splashing those ranged attacks in. Shushi has 1 point in his Excessive Force. That's also AoE. Hosan's got Q on Ezreal, and obviously Muver has the stun on Taric. But if you look at Mokate, he actually hasn't skilled anything up yet. His choice here was to go AoE with Despair and just do 8 damage a second plus 1.5% of everyone's health, or his Tantrum, which would just be 75 damage, and if he gets hit, it would go down. But he actually skills Banish Toss, which, if they're going for a pick, would be a good choice. But since it's an extended fight, it's a poor choice. And let's just watch this fight play out very briefly. The Undertow hits all 5, and Makler and Libic arrive almost halfway once the fights happen. Everyone from MOM got AoE down very quickly. Spontex flashed away at the first thing, and because Kuban revealed himself so early, he got taken down right away. Macro actually flashes in to get the final kill, and here, it's still actually kind of close despite the skill order, but it's in the retreat that MOAM actually loses this, because I want to pause it right here. Libic, Mokade, and Saru all decide to go back into the brush, which is the smart play. It would deny vision to Dragonborns. It would mean that Hosan wouldn't be able to come in and finish them off, but Mackler actually runs off to the left, which allows Hosan to clean him off, and it also means MOAM is down a man for the rest of the fight and can't finish it off. Mackler runs to the side, finished off by Hosan, and now MOAM 3v4 tries to re-engage, and that was really just a poor choice because they get chased down, give a double kill to Hosan, and a pretty large 4-1 kill lead. Unfortunately, Makade tried to banish toss over the wall, but the minions hadn't spawned yet.
Yeah, that's actually really unfortunate. We were watching that and we were just like, oh, because he's so used to doing that over the wall and everything. But still, we talked about during the game is that, you know, that wasn't the deal breaker in that entire game. It was a very bad start, 4 for 1, but still, what was the straw that brought the camels back in this game?
It was partially level 1 fight, obviously. Then there was that great triple kill that came back from Mackler, but the thing that really just did it for Dragonborns was their aggression and the chaotic gameplay that they created. When they got controlled yesterday by Against All Authority, it was just everyone from AAA pushing them back, keeping them out of the game. Dragonborns didn't let that happen this time. Shushay with his teleport Vi, who rushed the home guard boots, was everywhere. And we just kept, every time we were watching the game, just ready for Vi, because Shushay was everywhere charging in for these fights. Everyone else followed up. Spontex continually could push the pressure throughout the entire game.
Yeah, we did have Freak sitting next to us actually singing the song for us.
He knew every word.
That was really interesting. It was enjoyable, though.
Yeah.
But still, after that game, it was very one-sided as it did start to snowball out of their favor towards the end. But still, going into Game 2, what does MeetYourMakers need to do, and what do Dragonborns need to do?
First off, MeetYourMakers can't fall behind, because we know how good Dragonborns is from playing from ahead. Dragonborns has shown that they can't come from behind either, so I don't think pick-wise, MeetYourMakers actually has to do much differently, except maybe go away from a jungle Amumu and something more aggressive early. Some teams can get away with the jungle Amumu, but definitely not against Dragonborns when they're up with the early aggression.
What about Vi, though? Do you think she's a bannable champion for this? Because she was really disruptive in the fights. Like you're saying, the teleport home guard, not to mention the ultimate onto Mackler, just completely shut him down. It's
going to be very telling whether or not MYM thinks Shushay's a problem or whether they think it was the early level 1. So they might be scared of Vi, but, I mean, Xin Zhao seemed to be more of an issue in team fights. Yeah. Spontex was constantly dragging 3 members away. Shushay was more of an initiator and creator, but he can do that on a number of champions. So it'll tell us a lot about what MYM thinks of Shushay's Vi, and really what Shushay thinks of Vi himself, whether they go with it again or it gets banned.
Yeah, very true. And not to mention, Dragonborns now 1 game away from being qualified for Season 3. MeetYourMakers 1 game away from being knocked out completely. Guys, we're going to be going to a little bit of a break, but when we come back, the second game, potentially final game for either team here. Guys, don't go anywhere.
And welcome back, everyone. It is time for the next match. We're back. It is going to be a head-to-head. It is Dragonborns versus MeetYourMakers. And, well, who would have seen that one coming? Certainly not that level 1 fight. Dragonborns 1-0 up against MeetYourMakers.
Yeah, there was a real great start from there at level 1. Just gave them the confidence that they needed. We've talked about both teams and about how they do feed off the emotions that they get from the game, whether it's going well for them to propel them through or going bad for them to kind of just
fall away,
out.
And MeetYourMakers, how are they going to deal with that? Are they going to sit and think, okay, it's just a bad level 1 fight. That's all it was. They are the kings of level 1 fights normally, but it really backfired on them. They actually pulled it back. It went 5-6. They pulled it back to it, and then they threw it away again. And Hosan, 9-5 or 9-6 or something at the end. We're into the picks and bans, though, and Twisted Fate banned away again. This kid's got to be something that Sharo particularly uses against Dragonborns. Kha'Zix, Nidalee, and Shen. So there's no split pushing coming out. Thank you very much, because that generally is a boring game to cast. Jace and Vi being banned out. Well, I would never have expected Vi to be banned, but it means Evelyn is picked up straight away by Shushay. He's the man that started all the Season 2 regionals, and everyone went, "You're crazy, man, you're crazy." But instead, no, he was right. And then Alex Itch sort of picked it up in the rest of Korea, and they went, well, actually, he moves on to something.
Yeah. But that performance there from Shushay on Vi, it's just opened up the Evelyn from there. It's like, well, I'm going to get Vi or I'm going to get Evelyn.
Well, Olaf's available as well.
Yeah, Olaf again is still in there, which he will be featured in this game. I've got no doubt about that.
Yeah, but it didn't really work out, did it? Spontex knew how to counter Kubon, and it worked very well for him. It was a straight-up 1v1. Broken Shard did come up a few times. There's the KO once again, but this time it's going to be Mokata that takes it, and that's going to be much more important. He kind of started it, and there is Xin Zhao. So it's probably going to be Xin Zhao versus Olaf in that top lane again.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously could go into the jungle with that one, but I think that it's going to be in that top lane, just judging from what we saw in that last game. There's Ezreal again. We saw Hosan playing fantastic Ezreal. We've seen him playing Draven throughout this tournament as well, so just generally good options open. Actually, Draven wasn't bad. I guess they just decided today, let's not do Draven. Let's get that Ezreal and play it safe.
It's worked out very well. Misfortune I'm expecting, yeah, from Makler here. I was kind of surprised they went with the Vayne pick before. It was something we saw him playing in Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. But Misfortune's kind of been the champion he's been playing and playing very well with. So if anyone can make it work, it would be Makler. The question is, what will they do to counter it? Will they go for the cheesier Mumu strat that seems to be working in their favor? I don't think they will, because Makata's already picked up Kale. That just generally is going to be his jungler. I don't think that's going to be Sharu in the mid lane. So Sharu's pick's going to be last. The question is, what will the last two picks for Dragonborns be?
Interested to see whether they try and keep things similar to what we had before. There is Soraka going to be locked in, and a Lux as well.
Joe, we have a potential for some flash
banana Baron steals. Please. Always love to see stuff like that. But I think that's only the second time, if I'm not mistaken, that we've seen Soraka in this tournament.
I think maybe even the third time we've seen Lux as well. Remember, Peki played it when they got absolutely annihilated by the Giants. Didn't work out for him in that one. So we'll see how this tactic works. Definitely a different style from Dragonborns here. So what are we thinking? It could be Evelyn in the jungle right now. It could be Xin Zhao in the jungle. Almost certainly going to be Lux in that mid lane. And what are they going to play against Lux in the mid lane? What does Sharu have up his sleeve? Wukong
again.
Didn't really work out last time. Could work out against this one. Yes, it will.
Yeah. Yeah, that Wukong coming in there obviously is going to be putting as much pressure as he can down onto Xushi. He's going with that teleport again, which Charu just generally does run on pretty much everyone that he plays. Probably will go into those home guard boots earlier on like we saw in the last game, so that he's got that extra speed coming off the base with the teleport to really get in there and get that ultimate down. So they need to be real careful about that, and as soon as Charu is missing from the lane, they better hope that they're in safety positions, because that's going to be bad for them. On the other side, you know, you've got Evelyn in there who's going to be doing a good amount of roaming around. It's going to be Spontex playing that. Xushi going to have the Lux unless they end up switching, which I don't expect either.
Yeah, and honestly, this time MeetYourMakers are going to invade. They have a much stronger level 1 team, I feel. You know, they can get in there. There's not really any crowd control outside of that light binding from who it will be Xushi. So I would expect them to go for invade. I expect to see the MeetYourMakers what we know and love.
Yeah, I don't know why they've kind of changed from that one, because that was the MeetYourMakers that was so fiery. And, yeah, the pure pressure overall. Pink wards en masse everywhere. That's what, you know, that's what they were so good at.
They were the pink ward team. Yeah. In the World Cyber Games, they were playing as ex-Gamberg. It was 4 of these 5 players, and you can see them on your screen. For Dragonborns, it is Movet, Hosan, Broken Shard, Xushi, and Spontex. I have no idea why I stuttered over his name. We've been calling it all day. It is MeetYourMakers. It's going to be Libic, Makler, Mokata, Sharu, and Kubon. And these teams, one of these teams is going to be in Season 3. There's going to be Polish representation in there, and I'm sure that the home crowd is going to be happy with that. The question is, which one will it be? Will we get a full best of 3? MeetYourMakers, to me, have the better team this time around. But Dragonborns, with a crazy amount of damage, could pull something else again here. We saw Hosan. He's been amazing in this tournament. Spontex absolutely beat the hell out of Kubon in that last game. Will they repeat it? I don't know. It is going to be Spontex with Evelyn. It is going to be the Dragon Xin Zhao. I'm just not sure how it's going to work out for them, though. I feel that MeetYourMakers are looking stronger this time.
Yeah, and if it's like MeetYourMakers that we've seen before, they'll have had a good chat, trying to forget that game number 1. And let's not forget, if Dragonborns win this second game, they are through to Season 3, to the LCS. And MeetYourMakers, well, for now at least, obviously they've got opportunities later on in the year, but for this opening, for the opening weeks and months, they're not going to be involved in that, which would really really be sad, in my opinion, for either of these teams. But MeetYourMakers, they've been so solid as a lineup. So they've been more than most teams together through thick and thin. And I think they actually deserve a spot in Season 3 as well. But Dragonborns, if they win the game, you can't say that they don't deserve it either.
Would you say they've been a so solid crew? He's not getting a fight. Oh, English joke there, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody else in Europe probably hasn't got a clue who they are. They're a really bad band in the UK. We are a minute gone into this game, and well, MeetYourMakers, as the red team, they are literally in last chance Sunday right now. One loss, and they are out. And Dragonborns will be into Season 3, joining the likes of Evil Geniuses, Gambit Gaming, SK Gaming, Giants, Copenhagen Wolves, against all authorities. Fantastic teams, all there ready and waiting. The question is, will it be Dragonborns or will it be MeetYourMakers? We are 1.5 minutes gone, and it doesn't look like any invade is going to come out from these teams. We have seen some late invades lately, Joe, but I was expecting maybe MeetYourMakers, maybe they're feeling a little burnt after going 4-1 in the last fight.
Yeah, that's... I think if they were planning to do it in this game, that whole... losing 4-1 in the last game probably made them think twice about doing it in this game number 2, where their backs are against the walls. They lose this, they're gonna be out. So I don't think we'll see too many risks coming from them. Dragonborns, on the other hand, might take a few risks in this game, just for the fact that if they get those risks, high risk, high reward kind of situations, and they nail it, then they could find themselves going 2-0 and going straight through.
Well, we saw the Wolves being picked up by Makler and Libic there, so they are going around. Makata, meanwhile, had help unleashed on that red buff. We also saw the red buff being picked up by Broken Shard, so very much even in the jungle. Shushay already getting bursted on by Sharu there. Both coming into lane at level 2, as they are both at. If I say not coming into lane, they've managed to level themselves up, clearly. But as it stands, I expect Kubon to really pressure on towards Spontex. I expect Spontex probably will try and be aggressive. Makata picking up that blue buff. Try and be aggressive early on. But Kubon is going to become very beastly in this top lane. I don't think Spontex is going to be able to really pressure him too much. You already see the damage poking back and forward. He's going to try and keep those hate spikes on him. But once he starts getting those beefy, healthy giant belt items, there's not a lot he's going to do.
And I was just having a quick look through the stats there. Both Charu and Kubon in that mid lane, in that top lane, they're running full magic resist at the moment. They're pretty strong in these early levels, and especially Luke's going to find it hard to really dent Wukong. Evelyn in the top lane obviously got a bit more sustained damage of that hate spike going out, but Shushi certainly is going to have a few problems as again Charu just dashing into him there, and he's down to half HP.
Well, there's only one exhaust, and it's not with Shushi. Shushi went for barrier instead, so there's not a lot he's going to be able to do other than if that light binding misses, Charu is going to be on him like a rash. But Broken Shard could try and come out and help out in that mid lane. He is lingering, but instead, I don't think he's going to be able to do a great deal because Shushay has pushed that lane, and it's something the Lux will do. Inherently shove that lane along, and you just saw him diving in there as we flashed away. Kubon in this top lane versus Spontex, keeping those axes, keeping quite happy on the turret, honestly. He's going to quietly pick up all the CS. Bottom lane, meanwhile, you can see it is going to be an interesting turnout from Soraka. Soraka and Hosan move there with Makler and Libic, and Makler keeping the damage onto his move there. Very much more balanced than the first game. 4 minutes gone, no kills. Such a slow game.
Such a boring one, Demon. We had 5-6 kills by this point, obviously, in that last game. But
I think we're up to about 11 by now, maybe.
Yeah, a bit of a rarity, certainly, in that one. As we see here in that bottom now, the wave pushed out. Spontex just taking a bit of damage and being forced back in the top lane. Broken Shard is waiting. The question is, can they land the binding here? Yes, they can. We could see Charu in a little bit of trouble. He's going to decoy away, but we see Kale come around just in time to get that heal off, and he will stay safe.
Well, Ghost was used there by Sharo as well, so that light binding, I thought it had missed. It looked like it had missed, but then he just must have caught the edge of him. Broken Shard and Makata, though, they are going to engage as Broken Shard is going to chase on towards Makata. Makata will just speed himself up, turn back onto Broken Shard and keep him at bay. Sharo hasn't gone back. Instead, he's going to eat a couple more shots from Shushay. Doing a really good job of pushing and bullying it here.
Yeah, really nice. And one thing that I've not been super impressed with was actually Charu and the way that he's used that decoy on Wukong. But either way, we've got a gank coming down in towards this bottom lane now. Will they be able to lock them down? Yes, they will, but the kill not quite coming around. Makler very, very low. And, well, they needed to really force him out lane because that Misfortune is dominating right now on CS.
Yeah, Makata did a great job at stopping Shushay from getting down there. He has still gone down. He's expecting it. Oh, doesn't want a piece of Broken Shard. Teleport's going to come in instead. It's going to be a 2v1 on Broken Shard. It's going to force the damage on him. He realizes he's in trouble now. Sharu going to get onto him. Flashes through to the red pit. Nicely done. Broken Shard getting away there. Flash was burned.
Yeah, nice flash. Makata did have a flash available there, but I think wisely enough decided not to go through. You never quite know who's going to be waiting, who's going to come up from that one. Actually, we did see the bottom lane start to respawn, but I think Broken Shard called it would be okay once he's flashed away from that, so they didn't come around. In terms of gold, they've got about a 400 gold lead currently for MYM in these early stages. Obviously, still no first blood coming into it. Vamp Scepter is now picked up by Mako. We just saw the damage there that comes out from that double up, and Hosan needs to be careful. I mean, for the first time in I don't know how long, we've actually got two supports that are healing in this bottom lane. I can't remember the last time we saw it.
It's a double sustain lane, which means it will be very much a farming session rather than a killing spree that we have been seeing in recent past. Zyra not being picked up, was available, has been used very heavily here, but Kubon on Olaf. 100% record I think Olaf has in this tournament for being picked and banned. Will it continue? Just potentially one more game after this if MeetYourMakers can keep themselves in it. Or if Dragonborns go out, that will be stats over with. Sharu just holding that line, holding the lane, making sure that Shushay doesn't go wandering. And he's going to go ward out and make sure he doesn't disappear from it. But Sharu purposely keeping this lane shoved up there. He's trying to make an opening for Kugwan to come out of the jungle. Or, sorry, for Makata, sorry, to come out of the jungle. As it is bottom lane, you can see they've just gone back. Vampiric Scepter picked up. Very much even items. Makta still not with the boots, though. Does have that passive strut. Going to get on towards the turret and put some damage down.
Yep, again, just getting straight in there. Hosan is now back. We'll see if we can manage to force some ways. Not going to be far off hitting level 6 right now. In fact, he's more than halfway there, so we'll see him hit that ulti range soon. And we'll see if then they decide to go aggressive. Still Broken Shard not really able... After that one time that he's forced him out, not really being involved in this bottom lane whatsoever. And Mover just feeding that mana and health over towards Hosan. And I'm not sure that we're going to really see a kill there unless someone missteps or without that jungle help.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely jungle help required and possibly a teleport. Teleport already used by Sharu, of course, to try and get that kill in the jungle. He is the only one with teleport, so he could catch Shushay out. But Shushay with that ultimate can snipe from a long, long range away. Maybe see some epic snipes from him. He does return back to lane. Got himself a Cage's lucky pick. So he wants to go for the pick of destiny. Maybe he wants to play a tune. It is Shushay, you never know. Could be a metal tune as well.
And right now, still no first blood coming in. 8.5 minutes. Game was almost over this time in the last one. But you can see there just how the situation changes between games in a best of 3. When teams want to 0 down, you very rarely see them take any big risks at all in the grand scheme of the matchup. As we are going to see Makata going very low in the jungle there to that blue buff. He's like, well, that was not planned.
And you know what? That was really dangerous because if Dragonborns had maybe snuck up there and put a ward down, that could have been a simple snipe for Shushay for the blue buff and the kill.
Yeah, I mean, Hosan, if there was a ward there, could have killed him with the True Shot barrage there. So he was a bit lucky that they not actually pushed up for that one. As Hosan going to just jump over towards Lyric. But again, they've got great sustain there. And whatever damage has been done by these AD carries has been quite simply healed straight through by the supports.
Makla at 84 CS. He has a big advantage over Hosan here. 20 CS difference. Across the board, though, we also see Sharu with an advantage over Shushay. And again, he tries to get a little bit aggressive on Shushay, keeps him pushed away there. It is 82 to 62, so 20 CS in both lanes generally does bode well. The lane that is winning out the lanes. The lane that is winning out the lanes, that
makes sense.
Pure English, pure English. Glad it's not my first language.
If you didn't know, Demon is in fact German.
German, yes.
At heart. So,
yeah.
Yeah, genau. Anyway, in the lanes, as you were saying, the advantage is with MYM, even in that top lane as well. It's not quite as big, but it is still an advantage. The only place that they're actually behind right now is in the jungle, and that is by 6 CS, which is not really making that much of a difference to the grand scheme of things. But at some point, someone's going to get out of the jungle where these wards aren't properly down, and we're going to see him getting involved. The Sushi is coming down. Here we go. True Shot Barrage will land in on towards Libic. Can they finish off? Binding one miss.
Brilliant.
There's the crescendo. Will stop any future pain.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant from Libic there. Crescendo hitting its mark absolutely perfectly. The ulti was just about to come out from Shusha. You saw the light binding get thrown out. It would have followed it in a split second, a heartbeat. But that crescendo was fantastic and completely kept them safe. Makler kind of sensed it already. Didn't have boots, remember, so he could have easily been caught out there. But instead, he's gone back. It's not any boots. He's just going to go straight for the Bloodthirster.
Damage, damage, damage. He knows that he can out-damage this Ezreal at this point once he's got that BF sword in there. We'll see how they go by. Actually, Broken Shard. Not Broken Shard, Makati. He's throwing me off because he played it last game. Meanwhile, in the top lane, actually, Kuban is under a lot of pressure. Is he going to go down? Yes, flashing. First blood. Charu's in the bottom lane as well. Will Hosan get away from this one? Everything used. And there is a Kale ulti as well. Onto Charu. Laser from the side. Not going to be enough. What a flash away from Mover as well. The light binding will land onto him. Double ward as you do going in. Can they chase down onto Mover? I don't think so. And that will leave us at 1-1.
Oh, if only Broken Shard would have checked that bush. Instead, he's checking the top and red area, trying to find him out, but he's already backed away. So, first blood, it took a while to come, but when it did, they came, two of them straight back to back. Top lane, though, Spontex, all credit to him. And I said Kuban should be beating him out in that lane, but as it is, he had to go for that Hex Drinker earlier on. Well, Broken Shard getting the damage on towards Makler. Makler taking some tower damage. Keeping on that turret. That turret is getting lower and lower, so MeetYourMakers could well pick themselves up the first turret of the game.
Yeah, we are going to see that two-shot barrage just come through there. Nothing really connecting with MeetYourMakers, so they go to a bit of a quieter period. Needlessly large rod on that Evelyn is going to make it a lot harder in that top lane as well. Hex Drink, though, on the other side is going to be picked up by Olaf. We've got a Kindle Gem in with Broken Shards in Shao. Kale actually went in for the Berserker Greaves. Brutalizer done for Wukong. Now, in that middle lane, Shushi's going to face a lot more pressure from that one.
Oh yeah, you can see that laser. As soon as he gets up, available, he's just clearing out the waves, absolutely obliterating them. He's going to push CS, rocket it through the roof. The question is, Shara's teleport. That's what's been creating the differences so far for MeetYourMakers, putting the pressure on, but the gold very much even, the kills very much even, and the pressure on this top lane is very much for Spontex. We haven't seen Makata going up there yet, though. But consequently, he hasn't done massive amounts of damage to the turret. So despite the fact he is winning out the lane, he's not that far ahead. Just 5 CS difference, 6, 7 is counting upwards as Spontex wipes out that wave. The bottom is really where the big difference is at the moment. CS is pretty close between the two, but Mackley, you just feel, is far, far more comfortable now that he's on Misfortune. Oh, yeah. The crescendo catching on towards Hosan, actually. He's going to get the double up. The Ignite goes down as well. The ward's used. Could he get away? Bullet time could come out. Shari's going to dive in. Wish from the heel comes out, but it's going to be very much a dead Hosan, and they just gave up on him there. Accepted the loss.
Just gets absolutely crushed there by, well, the crushing blow from Wukong as they are going to push in that turret. Obviously low from that last push earlier, and it's only a 300 gold lead, ironically enough, or 500 by now, and that turret is low enough for them to take if they want to in the end. Yet they will go in there and have that one away. So, first turret of the game finally coming down after 14 minutes of play. Certainly a completely different game to that last one that we saw, which went a lot quicker, mainly due to the fact that, well, level 1 fight, when there were 5 kills, that was a real big part of it.
The pressure on Kuban, missed out on that siege minion, missing out on a big portion of the gold. There's the double wards that MeetYourMakers aggressively placed. They wanted to pick up the kill. Makler's like, well, I kind of want to start Dragon. Anyone want to come and join me? And then everybody else is like, no, blue buff, it's all good. And everybody's going to back away. So 14 minutes gone, no attempt on the Dragon. This definitely is a much slower game. And you feel that MeetYourMakers, they're just, despite the fact they are starting to grow the advantage, that they are being so cautious, and rightly so.
We can see red buff being taken by Makata. That blue buff was given over towards Wukong. Dragon, as you said, is still there. They are just too cautious right now. They don't believe that they've got enough of a lead, I think, to be really setting up a fight around that area. Although Shushi is coming in, Spontex is with him, Makler and Libic will have been spotted here, but that dragon is falling very, very quickly. Let's see if they can take it down. Yes, they will take that one down before MeetYourMakers can get in, but they don't want to fight. They just back straight out.
They back straight out, and that pulls the gold back level, despite the fact that turret advantage, and they're not going to gain any advantage off it either. MeetYourMakers, though, they're trying to head them off. They're trying to see if anyone will come towards it, and they want to just bully out that turret, and that's a great snipe straight away, clearing out that wave. It means the turret won't go down, or if it does, they're going to have to tank it, and no True Shot Barrage rattles past as well. Spontex comes in, puts the ultimate down, they're going to dive in. What a great ultimate there from Broken Shot, popping them across, but that's going to be, oh, the crescendo. Spontex gets dropped, but immediately you can see Broken Shot keeping the damage down. Kubon's going to take it down very low. Now Libic's going to get targeted, he survives. Sharu comes back around, Sharu's going to get dropped. This time Hosan does pick up the kill and evens things out at 2-1 in kills, and they may be able to take the turret of their own. They can't tank this one out, surely.
Really nice work there from Dragonborns getting in to finish off Charu. Makler Libic, to be honest, was lucky that he didn't get taken out in that one as well. But they've got this outer middle turret. That's a big pickup for them. First pickup of a turret for Dragonborns. They also got that dragon just before that as well. So overall, a massive win out there for DB.
Well, I didn't even get to see Sharu's ultimate, really. I think Broken Shot just batted him away the split second he came in, and it just completely disrupted him. Dragonborns approached that one very, very nicely. Spontex caught that ultimate. I think he caught like 3 or 4 people with it. He just saw the damage bursting through there, and considering Shushe was a little bit off distance off there before they've finally gone towards the turret, a really great bit of play by MeetYourMakers. So, it's 3-3. It's 1,000 gold advantage to Dragonborns with 1 turret apiece. This is what we'd expected from these teams. Honestly, a lot of people were saying MeetYourMakers should take this game easily. But Dragonborns, they are persistently staying themselves and causing problems for MeetYourMakers every step of the way. Will it be enough of a problem to make it into Season 3? That's the question.
Well, we've got now that Rabadon Seth Cap finish for Lux, which is going to be a lot more damage coming in with those combos. And now that they've took that outer turret, Lux can afford to get a bit more involved in those other lanes. Obviously, Charu using that teleport earlier on, and while they don't have a teleport to counter that directly, you know the range on the laser. You can be involved in those fights at the later you go, but it's always a danger, obviously, that Charu just comes in there and destroys everything before you have a chance to react to that one. And they've actually left this middle turret fairly vulnerable. 3 men just grouping up here from MeetYourMakers are going to be having a look at it, but there's this gank coming in on the top lane. Will Kubon be baited in?
Kubon, he's keeping Spontex there, and Spontex immediately just dashes away. Shushi was there, but they caught Sharu. They spotted him going up there, and immediately they all retreat. So things are balancing out. Let's have a look across the items. Giant's Belt was picked up by Kubon. Kubon is going to go back upfield and maybe try to complete that Warmogs. I'm not sure if he's got quite enough gold just yet. No, instead he has to go for some wards because he's starting to become a little bit scared in that top lane. Deathfire Grasp now being picked up by Spontex. He's starting to become a big problem. And we saw earlier on some great position. I think it was Giants that had Evelyn. No, it wasn't Giants. It was it was Dragonborns against Giants. Spontex was playing Evelyn then, and he did have great position, and he came in from around the side, caught them out many times, but just didn't have the damage to back it up. We do see Sharu taking a burst of damage from Shushe there, so that's just a combo. Oh, he's on towards Makler, and there is the Deathfire Grasp, and that is a dead Makler. He just went through him like it was roadkill, and now Kubon, can he turn back on towards Spontex? Spontex is going to try and run away from this one. He's going to run headlong into Makata. Can he turn anything from it? No. It's a revenge kill for Kubon and a bunch of assists, but wow, you just saw how quick, if Makler gets caught out of situation, they're going to go on Sharu.
Yeah, they're going in on towards Charu. They waited for that decoy to come up there. Shushe not quite having his laser ready for that one. That could have really changed things. Spontex saying that's not going to ever happen again. You know why? Because he fail flashed after saying he's the best player here. Just to point that out.
Did have to point that out. Broken Child playing defensive duties in that mid lane, and Libic's picking up a little bit of CS while his AD carry has been dead. And maybe he's just said, well, that's why you should never go anywhere without me. Libic has been saving his bacon a lot, and Makata, his brother, got the revenge kill though, so it was all good in the end. Actually, a revenge assist, I guess you could say. The slow was helpful though, but Kubon, that kill would have helped him. It would have felt nice as well when you take down your lane opposition. When you manage to get that kill, he's probably been bothering him throughout that lane. He's been bugging him, but once that Deathfire Grasp was used, it was kind of his one trick, and his pony was leaving the stable.
Yeah, we can see that the cooldown on DFG and Evelyn's ultimate is pretty much bang on even there. So every time she gets into the fight, it's like, boom, you are in a lot of pain. That extra damage amplification from the DFG really doing good work. Even though she, not really got that much AP on her right now. Looks with that Rabadon's death cap finish. Actually, Lux must be sat on a decent, right, only 620 gold right now. What other items have we had finished off? Warmog's done for the Olaf Black Cleaver from earlier is on Wukong, plus another Giant's Belt coming in as well. Both AD carries have a Bloodthirster. Actually, a bit of armor coming in there as well for Ezreal.
So it's looking like they're going to position for this Dragonfight pink wards. Wards being placed out all across the board just to keep it up. And there it is, that split push. You see Spontex is hanging around just below, and he wants to come up the backside and try and catch all the Makler. Makler's positioning has generally been immaculate in this tournament.
Immaculate.
Immaculate, that's it, yeah. The Spontex, though, is going to come around. They're not going to go for that split push. Libic's got to avoid the damage from Hosan. They are, of course, stood on top of a ward, so nothing sneaky coming out here. The Dragon hasn't even spawned, and they're really just stance dancing for this one.
And Spontex, there's a pink ward there, so they're actually going to have vision of him. You can see they just finally pinged him, and Charu is waiting behind them. He's waiting behind. This is going to be an interesting to see how this one goes down. Obviously, Dragonborns see that. They're like, where's the monkey hiding in all this? And he is, in fact, behind them up to the top side. Spontex here going to be spotted the entire time with that pink ward right down on top of him. And just that dance just going on. That could go on for quite a while here until someone gets that perfect pick that gives them the confidence to go forward.
Well, Libic's getting low on mana, and he has kind of bullied them and forced them away from this because Hosan's pushing up that mid wave as well. And, well, MeetYourMakers realize they're out of position. Dragonborn might be able to try and shove this one and sneak this turret quickly. Sharu is rating off the side. He's going to come in. He's going to put some monkey magic down. He catches on towards them. He does. The bullet time comes in, but Sharu, all the invulnerability just saves him in time. And actually, Broken Shard with the crescent sweep knocked him away and saved him. Kubon got in there. He got the kill on Spontex. And now Hosan. Hosan's trying to turn the damage down. They're going to continue pushing on the tower, but they have to back away from this one. They've got to be careful. You can see the damage. Is Broken Shard going to go down? Yes, he will. It's a 2-0. Makler now tries to pursue on Hosan, but Hosan is a dangerous, dangerous beast. He is a snake you do not want to chase, and he does manage to clear them away. Hosan going to come back in here. He hasn't got True Shot Barrage available, so you can't really pick anything off. He's just trying to prevent them from going back, and they're going to go for the turret.
They are going for the turret, and it is going to go down here. That was quick thinking from Dragonborns to actually say, well, Dragon Dance, they've started to back away. They're going to be out of position. Let's just go straight in for this turret. They've managed to take that one down, and now Dragon is open for the taking for them as well. And that will be taken. They've got plenty of health, and also can get that mana back from Soraka down there as well. But they need to be careful here because MeetYourMakers are in fact coming down as well. Dragon will go back in, resetting itself. What is Hosan doing there? He's walked straight in. Kubon going to put the pain down onto him. But will he be able to escape? Slow comes out of Misfortune. Can they catch up? Yes, move it there. Gets hit by the axe. Going to be collected. There is a reckless swing coming out. They pick up that kill, but Kubon is back into the fight. Makler going very, very low here. Double kill coming out. And the question is now, where is Kubon going to go? He's found himself all alone. Triple kill coming down for Evelyn. Great play by Spontex again.
Spontex playing brilliantly. Well, Dragonborns, they thought for a moment, you thought MeetYourMakers have completely got him out of position, but as soon as Sharu showed himself in that top lane, they were like, you know what? Everybody get here. We can fight this one, and we can kill this one. They're missing their monkey. And for some reason, Sharu chose to go to that top. He may get the advantage of taking the turret down, but they did lose out heavily in that fight. And like you said, the triple kill given to Spontex, that's going to give him a chunk more gold. And it's now 7-7 kills. And Dragonborns, they have a 4,000 gold advantage in the game. They only need to win, and they're in Season 3.
But we're still tied on kills, and we've seen how close these fights can be. I mean, Evelyn is most definitely the superbly important part of this Dragonborns team now. 5-3-1, DFG, Crystal Scepter, Sorcerer's Shoes. Now, if they don't manage to get off to the good start, we saw there at the end of that fight, like, that was the cleanup crew. Evelyn came in there, and the health totals of MeetYourMakers just disappeared. If this Evelyn gets singled out, like with the use of these pink wards that they were trying to do there down by that dragon, then maybe MeetYourMakers have a chance. But I think if Evelyn gets off the perfect combo at the start here, I think MYM could be in some serious danger.
Well, those Iceborne Gauntlets are nearly ready for Hosan. Black Cleaver needs to get built for Makler. He needs to get that Black Cleaver on there to get that bullet time, doing a lot of shred. And if he can, Sharu, yes, he can get in and clean up, because the double Black Cleavers will help out immensely with that ultimate spinning around. The question is, can they make it work? Because Spontex is just picking them apart every time they get a chance. He's in there and destroying them. 5-3-1. Makler's having nightmares right now. Normally immaculate positioning, but if Evelyn wants to get you, she's generally going to come straight for you. Broken Shot's been landing that crescent sweep very well to dissipate MeetYourMakers' team as well. And frankly, after what I thought was a fantastic team composition for MeetYourMakers, is looking very, very good for Dragonborns. They've just played very, very well in all the lanes. They were down in CS in all the lanes, and yet they are now winning quite convincingly and about to pick up their 4th turret of the game.
Yeah, that is the final outer turret being taken down. We see Spontex actually coming in. Are they going to be able to catch him? No, not quite. And Kubon actually has finished that Shurelya's Reverie now, so they need to make sure that he gets onto the right target into these next fights. Charu is actually over the back of the wall here. Here we go. They're going to go for it. Here comes the ultimate out of Charu. He's going to get exhausted. Doesn't really make that much of a difference. Shushe going to be focused. Where are the kills coming down? Crescendo comes out. Shushe is still alive. Not for long, though. Olaf will take him. But in all that, they're being destroyed. Dragonborns are on top of them. Double kill coming in. Ezreal gets one. Triple kill finisher there. And that is an ace for Dragonborns.
Wow, and all that happened, you know, Sharu went in, he got his ultimate off, but he didn't land it really right. Hosan was just off the side. He'd arcane shifted, knew it was coming straight away, got out of the way, and was doing free damage from the side. And MeetYourMakers was split targeted. They just did not know what to go for. And Spontex once again with his second triple kill running is 8-3-2, and that is going to be the inhibitor going down. Dragonborn's really on fire in this tournament today. They just, you know, they didn't even look in it yesterday against the, I think it was Giants, wasn't it, they played? Didn't even get close to getting it. Giants just demolished them. But Dragonborns are eating MeetYourMakers alive right now. 43,000 gold to 34,000 gold. 6-2 in turrets. Inhibitor down. MeetYourMakers backs against the wall. Last chance saloon for them.
Yeah, they need to kind of kick each other on the backside now and say, okay, this is the chance that we've got. We either take it or we spend a lot of time. We've wasted a lot of time, to be honest. They've wasted a lot of time if they don't get through into Season 3. One thing that we saw that was really apparent there, I think, was a bit of a communication problem. Limit got to get caught out. He is dead. Spontex is godlike at 9-3-2. I think I can get to my point now. There's no action in the immediate future going to happen. But you saw Olaf. He kind of half went in there, half didn't go in there. He got shut down. He got too low health before the rest of the team really reacted. You know, Charu was almost in there doing everything on his own from that one. As Broken Shot is now going to come around the side. Now Dragonborns could get caught out, or will they? Spontex is coming around the side of them. Charu inside of that brush. And there is the ultimates being chained together. Makata almost goes down to it. Terrifying combo out of Dragonborns.
Terrifying combo indeed, but Dragonborns are going to drive home another advantage. It's going to be an inner turret going down yet again, and that is all inner turrets down now. Just the 2 inhibitor turrets left in the Nexus, and Dragonborns really gaining every advantage. If I could just get the word out, they are on towards the inhibitor turret. Here comes Limbic. He's got that crescendo ready and waiting. He's trying to get in there and get an initiate, but they can't. Dragonborns are doing so well. They're so mobile. Shurelya's is being popped. Are they going to drive through? No, they're just going to take their time, but they dissipate themselves so well, Joe. The moment the Wukong comes in, the moment Limbic tries to land that crescendo, they can't get the bullet time in because they're just getting the hell out the way.
And I don't understand why in that last fight, okay, now Olaf's actually just used his Shurelya's to do a lap around the turret, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. But Charu is going to go in there. Ultimate is running. Spontex takes a lot of damage, and they're going to focus straight in onto him as bullet time comes down. Hosan is on a rampage. He gets a double kill. They turn around. Kubo not going to be able to survive that one. Now they focus in on towards Makler, but they're happy with the turret. Finally, Evelyn does get shut down from that one, but that is going to be 16-9. 8 turrets down, 2 inhibitors down. That's going to be 9 turrets and 3 inhibitors here very shortly.
They are in serious trouble. clearing out the tournament, and Dragonborns could take this one away. Why that happened again, they focused everything on Spontex, and again, Hosan just sat there and obliterated them, and they have got into Season 3. You can see them on your screens. They played magnificently today. Shushay is going to be in Season 3. Well, Wackler's not going to be in Season 3 because they've just been outplayed, frankly, by the Dragonborns, and I really feel for MeetYourMakers. They've put up such a great performance over the last year, and they have not got there. The dreams have been dissipated. We've seen so many big teams fall to the wayside. New names have been born, Joe, and Dragonborns are one of them. And, well, amazing, amazing stuff. Hosan, what a player he's been throughout this tournament. He has absolutely cleaned up. Spontex, once again, the hero of Dragonborns in that top lane. Evelyn beating out Olaf in lane. Who would have thought that? Olaf 100% picked and banned throughout the entire tournament. This time, though, it didn't work. Twice they went up against Olaf. They knew it was going to happen. Twice they quite happily beat it. And you can see just the joy on their face. A big hug for Shushay from Carmack. Very much delighted with that.
Yeah, and one thing's for sure, Season 3 just got a whole lot hairier as Dragonborns managed to get themselves through there as chest bump.
Oh my word, Hosan just gets floored by the chest bump of Shushay.
I can't stay professional anymore, Demon. That's it, I'm done. Oh, God, I'm crying and everything.
Oh my word. That's an esports moment for YouTube right there, ladies and gentlemen. The chest bump and flattening.
Let's not do that either. Oh God.
I wasn't
what
expecting
we're talking about.
I don't know. I've just lost track. But Dragonborns, they were fantastic in this tournament. You know, what an amazing performance. You know, we were talking about who is likely to get through. We thought MeetYourMakers today, they were definitely the strongest team, but Dragonborns are now there, and now we have some real personalities in Dragonborns getting into Season 3. I'm really excited for the teams that we've actually qualified through, the 8 teams that are now secured. 8 teams until the next season split, which is, I don't know, it's April or May. I don't know when the heck it is. They don't tell me these things. I just turn up and talk. But wow, fantastic, fantastic stuff, Joe.
Yeah, and that is our 8 teams all decided in here. We've got some brilliant names, obviously Moscow, not Moscow, Gambit Gaming, SK Gaming, and Team Evil Geniuses now we can officially call them. Finally, that's been announced. They've been watching from home this weekend. They've no doubt been analysing what they've been seeing. It's going to be really interesting once those 3 teams get into it as well.
I'm still going to giggle. I'm going to watch it on YouTube because it's going to be on the top of Reddit before I finish casting. But that is it for me and Joe. Oh, what a weekend it's been. We have 8 teams there, so let's head over to Carmack with an interview with one of those winners. Let's hope they're not getting flattened by Shushay.
Thank you, Demon. Kto wygrał mecz? Kto? Kto? Spontex, you're quite the cocky Frenchman, I have to say. What do you have to say after this?
No one can taunt me. No one. Don't face the beast!
Now, my question is, are you ready to say the same thing to people on Team EG, to people on Gambit Gaming in the LCS?
I will face everyone. I love the challenge, so this is my dream. And now this is it.
And now, honestly, coming here to Warsaw, before you came here, would you actually bet $10,000 that you would be qualified for the LCS before this tournament?
Seriously? No.
Let's talk to Shushay here. Shushay, you seem to be disagreeing with his lack of confidence. Tell me about it.
I'm confident. I was confident.
So you would have actually bet $10,000 that you guys would go through to the LCS?
Yeah, especially after Charu taunted us and said that we are no problem.
I see. One of you wanted to make an announcement. I guess the floor is yours.
All right. After such an exciting weekend and my first ever League of Legends LAN event, a lot of emotional defeats against AAA, truly deserved it, and we messed up. We were all depressed, and we come back and we win this. It's just absolutely my dream, but I have to inform that we've already decided who our first official sub of Dragonborns will be. Drum roll. The first sub will be me. I love this team. I love this team with all my heart. I've never played with such players who care so much about the game, who I can honestly laugh when I'm thinking about throwing up because I'm so nervous, honestly. So from now on, I will officially be the sub and coach of Team Dragonborns, and we will officially be looking for a new jungler starting now. So this is an open invitation. If you think you can be the new jungler, we'll give you a tryout if we think you're ready. So come to us, and we'll see.
I think with his oratory skills, he's more fit not to League of Legends, but more to American wrestling. I guess. It was a good speech, though. We'll give it back for the analysis, back to the studio.
That body slam.
Yeah, I mean, he's played so much Gragas, he's practiced with it. Just boom!
That's just the first thing I thought of when you seen that happen. I'm surprised Joe and Demon aren't still laughing right now. But welcome back. I am Jason. This is Jat. And Jat, now we finally have our 8 full teams for the European Season 3.
Yeah, we just got a quick graphic up here to give everyone the heads up on what's happening. It was an awesome weekend. I got to say, Dragonborns is almost like the Team Marn of the European qualifiers. People didn't really expect them to come in. They have a ton of personality, and congratulations to them.
Well, they also are the second team to come through the European ranked ladders. So that's one more than we currently have for the North America qualifiers.
Right, so if we could get the graphic up about the 8 teams that are in Season 3, we have SK Gaming, Gamut Gaming, Evil Geniuses were the pre-qualified teams, and obviously this weekend, just Copenhagen Wolves against All Authority, Giants Gaming, Fnatic, and Dragonborns. Only 2 teams, actually, you were mentioning, came in via the online qualifier, so that's a total of 3 across both regions in the LCS. Just awesome stuff.
Still, that shows that if you want to get together with a group of friends, train for this, practice, you could always be in Season 3, maybe even Season 4.
You could still make it into Season 3. I mean, we're going to have the up-down games. I should have the exact date soon, but it's going to be, I think, pretty soon, 2-3 months, and we'll have the up-down games.
Yep, well, I believe that is it for us, guys. We had a pleasure doing all this. Thank you guys for watching. We're going to send you back to Joe and Demon for some final words.
Thanks a lot, guys. Really, really awesome tournament, Demon. Really happy to have been here. And, well, that chest bump at the end just made it all worth it. And make sure you guys have that GIF online as soon as possible, because I'm going to sit there all night looking at it and probably laughing the entire time.
I still get the giggles when I think about it. Gragas slam, very nice one, Jat. I'm sure you guys thought of that one. And suitably fitting for Shushay. So fantastic tournament overall. A lot of surprises overall, honestly. I mean, there wasn't really anything, and Millennium didn't go through. MeetYourMakers didn't get through. We expected all these teams to be there.
And I'm just wondering now, after Broken Shard's announcement there on stage, who that's going to be. There's some interesting things there, because there are a lot of people are free now, aren't they? Because they didn't quite get there this weekend. You got the likes of Maluno who's going to be hanging around, and some top-level junglers that could be slotted into these teams free-willing. So that'll be really interesting to see what comes in. Obviously, February the 9th is when we start here in Europe, at least. Obviously, February 7th, that's a Thursday, Friday in the US, then Saturday, Sunday for us in Europe. I can't wait to get stuck into that. That's going to be just a brilliant, brilliant time.
A brilliant time indeed. And well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for us here. Season 3 qualifiers is over, and we have our 8 teams. Congratulations to all the teams that have made it, and good luck on your quest for the Summoners Cup. And that's going to be a long way off, though. They've got a lot of matches before that. 56 team matches in all. I am D-Man on behalf of myself, Joe, Freak, Jason, Jack, Quickshot, Carmack, and the entire live broadcasting crew here in Warsaw. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all very soon. Every weekend, every weekday, we're just going to do every day, every single day. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. League of Legends days. Mark them in your diary. February 7th, it is going to be happening all of the time. We will see you on February the 7th. Goodbye.
Please subscribe and leave us your comments just below the video.